So again, this 36-month sentence handed down to the former speaker is getting reaction from officials all throughout the state. And joining us now on the show is former U.S. Attorney and Eyewitness News legal analyst Robert Corrente. Let's first of all touch upon what the judge said. She doesn't believe that this 3-year sentence will serve as a deterrent. So why would she agree to this 36-month plea deal and not go over? I mean, she could have gone more than 40 months for this sentence.
Well, you know, that kind of cuts both ways. The federal sentencing guidelines provide a certain guideline range. The 36-month sentence represents a 5-month departure from the low end. But if you look at the history over the course of the last 10 or 15 years, which is, I think is what she was alluding to, there have been so many instances where public officials have ended up in federal court being sentenced. It's hard to think that any kind of a sentence is going to prove to be a deterrent at this point.
All right, one of the things that we heard Gordon Fox say over and over again are the words that "I'm sorry." You and I were talking off camera a few minutes ago about those words. Do you think his acknowledgement of his crimes and his somewhat remorseful statements are believable?
Well, it's always difficult to separate out whether the defendant is really sorry that he or she committed the crime or sorry that he or she got caught. In this instance, he seemed to be genuine in his commentary, at least outside the courtroom afterwards, in taking responsibility and saying, look, I don't have any excuses, I broke the law and this is my own fault and I have to deal with it.
All right, so certainly if this sentence is no surprise, and some say it's not a deterrent, then what is the message moving forward, and how does this resonate with other politicians in Rhode Island?
Well, the first question is whether it resonates with other politicians, because as I said, we keep coming back, we keep seeing the same play over and over and over again. And you have to hope that, given the passage of time, that the people that want to run for office think that there's a sufficient certainty that they're going to get caught if they do this sort of thing, that they'll shy away from that behavior. But we haven't seen the tide turn yet.
We do know that the judge has recommended that Gordon Fox serve the sentence somewhat close to home. One thing we don't know is where he will be going, but what do you expect that life will be like for Gordon Fox in federal prison?
Well, I suspect that he'll be in some sort of a minimum security facility. It won't be hard time the way you might envision with a gang member or a violent criminal. But no federal prison is a country club, and you know, it's not the place that anybody wants to spend any kind of time.
All right, and certainly once we do know the location, I'm sure we'll be getting reaction from you. We thank you so much for joining us, for your perspective on the show. We appreciate it. And stay with Eyewitness News as we continue to cover Gordon Fox's sentencing today. Target 12 investigators Tim White and Walt Buteau will be continuing to cover the story all day long. We'll have the latest developments on his sentencing on Eyewitness News starting live at 5.